All right, hello everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. Very excited about today's video. It's gonna be a little bit more chatty just because I'm gonna be talking through everything, but I wanted to finally share my traveler's notebook. I've been working on this as an experiment kind of in the background for the last few weeks, and I originally had the intention of trying out a traveler's system as a companion notebook with my cousin for 2025, and through said process of setting this up and experimenting with things, it's kind of just become my everything. I've grown very attached to this very quickly in a way that I have not connected with other notebooks in the past, which seems a little dramatic and a little weird, but something about this notebook and just this system in general has really clicked with me in a way that has been super beneficial to just like my overall mental health, my happiness and contentness, I guess, in my own brain and in my notebook. And it came as an unexpected surprise, and I just wanted to truly take the time to immerse myself in this and not have a lot of pressures on it, and be able to articulate kind of my thoughts and feelings and system before I shared it on YouTube. So that's what we're doing today. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. This is the Traveler's Notebook. This is in the regular size. I bought this cover secondhand off Mercari. It is the brown leather cover, and somehow luckily got it for like a super steal. I got this cover for $35. She's like beautifully used and soft, and she's also kind of an original. She's an OG, so I feel really lucky to have this. Something I wasn't super educated on until I did a little bit more research, but this is one of the covers that Midori created before Traveler's Company was like its own brand, its own company, and it was just kind of Midori making Traveler's notebooks. She feels super special to me, and so I'm very thankful to have this cover, and it's been very satisfying for me both tactily and just functionally. Something has to feel and look very cozy to me, otherwise I will not use it. I actually like low-key think I might be neurodivergent in some way. I've just never gone to a professional to get that diagnosis, and I don't want to misspeak on it. But there's a lot of aspects to this system that click really hard with my brain in a way that the cousin and no other notebooks have in the past. And so it sounds a little dramatic, sounds kind of weird, but that's where we're at. So that's my notebook. This is in the regular size. I'm gonna just take this out now so it's not loud, but I do have my fountain pen in here. This is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim in the gourd color. This is in the medium fine nib size, and this is the only pen that I've been using throughout the entirety of this notebook. We love her a lot. It's been super great. So this is the notebook. I do have one charm on here. This is from Baum-Kuchen. I do like having little decorations throughout this book, but this is more pretty than it is functional, but I do really like this. I do have technically 4 inserts in here, but the one that I keep in the back isn't actually banded in. So usually when I'm using my notebook, I take this out immediately. And this is just a sticker release paper insert from Traveler's Notebook. I would like to start using stickers more often and actually use them instead of like, I don't know, hoarding them. So I thought that if I just threw all of my stickers in here kind of a little messy like, I would be more inclined to use them more often. So I do have my sticker insert in here, but I usually just pull it out whenever I'm like actually in my notebook. Here is how I have it set up when you first open it. I have this clear insert. This one is also from Traveler's Company. It is the one with the 3 card pockets and then the little zipper pouch. I just have it kind of tucked in with this one insert, and I have my TN notebook set up very similarly to how I've used notebooks in the past. So I kind of have like the annual, monthly section, my kind of like weekly and daily section, and then blank notes, extra grid paper in the back. And these past couple weeks, I've actually been experimenting with a lot of different types of inserts and different brands. So these are not really necessarily the ones I started out with, but ones I've kind of experimented through and have settled on as my main inserts and the ones that I would like to carry into 2025. Lindsay had mentioned in like a previous video that one of the reasons she really likes Travelers is because it feels like the perfect medium of a ring bound system and a book bound planner. And that really clicked with me. Something that I have come to love so much about this system is just the fact that I can customize it so easily, but it still has the tactileness of a bound book planner system. And so when I was building this out, I didn't want to have just one notebook in here. Like, I know Sterling Ink makes a TN size like common planner. I didn't want one notebook in here. I really wanted the freedom to experiment around, try different papers, try different brands, and things like that. So I was very intentional with that choice. That's kind of how I have the guts of this set up. I did put this adhesive pocket in here just because this felt a little naked to me. So it doesn't have like a very super functional purpose right now, but I'm sure like as we move into the year it will. But I just have this clear insert, and then I have these little pictures and postcards tucked in here. I don't normally share my kids or photos of my kids on the internet, but I will show you this one. This is my son. He's just so darling and dapper, and he's so cute, and they wear uniforms at his school, and so that was his picture day picture. So I just keep little keepsakes in here, stuff that I normally keep with me in my notebooks. And my first insert is my kind of annual monthly insert. This is the Sterling Ink 2025 N1 monthly booklet. So there's only about 64 pages in here, I believe, and I really liked this one because the setup felt very similar to what I've used in the Hobonichi Cousin. I like this paper more than I liked the monthly booklet for like from the Travelers notebook brand. I also really love her quarterly pages that she created, and then the annual trackers that she has, and the goal setting. Like, I would actually really like to fill out a goal setting or, you know, a habit like section this year. So I really enjoyed those. And then again, like the monthlies, I always have to have monthlies, and then you do get, I think it was like 16 blank grid pages in the back. And so I've started going through and kind of marking what annual trackers and spreads or things that I would like to keep in here, because I do like the idea of having one annual book, like a book that is with me throughout the entire year and kind of holds everything, like all the important information, but I don't want to keep all of these for the whole year, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I really like this kind of housing everything that I want to save throughout the year. So I will have a 2025 setup video probably within the next like few weeks as we get closer to 2025, and I will show you guys the trackers and spreads that I have set up. But I've just been slowly chipping away at these and coming up with ideas of stuff that I would find beneficial. And then one other thing that I did is this was the January 2026 calendar that she had in here. And so I just took a Posca paint pen, whited everything out, and then drew in a November calendar so I could start using this now. And then the actual monthly spreads will start December of this year. So I'm kind of like doing it a little bit backwards, but I didn't really want to wait to use it. So that's kind of how we have this set up. And then one other thing that I am experimenting with that I want to try this year is this planner bingo card that I made. I posted it on the community tab in YouTube a couple days ago, but it's basically just this bingo card that I made of some short-term and long-term planner and notebook like goals, habits, healthy habits I call, that I would like to prioritize and accomplish. I have some goals in here like 75 days in Traveler's Notebook, a no by December, 60 days in Passport Wallet, a Commonplace setup, and then all these different little things. And then when and if I get a bingo, then I can, this is kind of like me incentivizing more expensive stationery purchases, because I do want to be smarter with my money. And so for me, I want to start accomplishing some of these short-term and long-term habits and goals. And by doing that, I can purchase a like larger ticket item, stationary, I don't know, item. So for me, for example, for this first bingo card, my reward for hitting bingo is to buy myself a new fountain pen, because fountain pens are kind of expensive and I don't want to just, you know, spend recklessly. So I want to incentivize it a little bit. So this is my first time trying this. I'm sure we will make updates as we go, but very excited to actually do a planner bingo. I have blank ones for anyone, just like free members on my Patreon. If you're interested, I'll link it below and you can fill out your own bingo card and play along with me. So that is the annual / monthly booklet. And again, I'm really happy that Sterling Ink did black in these. Really appreciate this like black kind of leatherette cover. Next section in here, oh, actually I do have this zipper pouch. This is part of that traveler's plastic insert. All I keep on here is some extra sticky notes, and then this is a picture that my son drew. He's my spooky boy. He loves anything scary and spooky, so he's always drawing spiders everywhere. So I keep this with me all the time because it makes me smile. And that's all I have in here currently, but I'm sure more things will accumulate throughout the coming weeks. And then the next insert I have is kind of my weekly daily notebook, I guess you could say. I don't really have a label for it. This insert is the Traveler's Notebook 005 insert. It's the free diary daily. So this insert is a cream paper grid insert, and it essentially has 2 months worth of daily pages. So you kind of get, here's like, let me see. You have 31 daily pages of grid, and you have 2 of those total. So there's 2 months in here. When I first originally purchased this, I just wanted to experiment, kind of just test the waters really, in Traveler's Notebook. And so these first couple pages in here, I was really just doing some journaling. I put in some ephemera pieces. This is a Megan Rhiannon zine article. I have recipes in here. And I had started this or received this insert on a Thursday, and so I didn't want to set up a weekly spread like halfway through the week. So these first couple of days I was really just kind of writing and trying to dip my toes in the water. And then I set up my first weekly spread. So this is a horizontal weekly. I know Traveler's Notebook has a horizontal weekly, but I don't like that there's no grid on the left side. And I really enjoy having this gray bar on the top because it makes the pages less intimidating for myself when I'm filling them out. And the cream paper has just been really nice. So I set up my own weekly just to, you know, experiment, test the waters. So I have this section on the side where I kind of just do like a quick check-in with myself, what's happening, how I'm feeling that day. And then I have a running to-do list of personal and work tasks on this right side. And then for this week, I did a weekly recap, but you'll see that in the coming weeks, I try some other stuff. And this worked really, really well for me that first week. And I really, really kind of fell in love with this horizontal setup. Normally, I've used a vertical weekly, but I noticed that I wanted my weeklies to be a bit more functional for me, both personal and professionally. And in my cousin, I was using it a lot more for journaling than I was using it for like time management, organization, to-do lists, things like that. So that's something that has been very refreshing about this. I basically have a weekly set up, and then throughout that week, I would just journal whenever I felt called to it. So some of these pages have 2 days on them, some only have 1 day. And then basically at the end of the week, when I was ready to set up my next weekly, these are all journaling from the same week, I have my next weekly. So the weekly and dailies are kind of bundled, but I'm not doing a page per day necessarily for dailies. It's just whenever I'm in the mood for it, which this week I was in the mood every day for it. I did set up some other weeklies that I was interested in trying, but then halfway through this one, I loved this so much. I was like, I don't even want to experiment with this. I just want to keep doing this and like tailoring this exact one. So I just have these kind of paper clips because they're blank. But that was my first weekly. Again, here are some of those daily pages, sticking down ephemera, stickers, poems, talking about my day, how I'm feeling. This day I voted. I live in America and things are really stressful politically right now. So it felt really nice to finally get my vote in. Election day is soon if you're watching this on November 2nd. And so if you live in America and you haven't voted, please vote. That's all I'll say about that. I went to a wedding, so just a little Polaroid, and then next weekly. So this one is pretty similar to the last one, except I had set up, I had set up a little bar on this side to note my events, appointments, and such. And I really liked having this because in this previous week, I just had them, if I did have them, I had them kind of mixed in here. So again, just like tailoring my weeklies, trying to make them work a little bit better for me and my current needs. I also did a habit tracker, which I just call self-care, and they're just habits that I think improve my quality of life. So I have a little self-care section. I switched up my to-do list a little bit, just more experimentation and then more journaling throughout the week as I work through this. I really, really love how these weeklies or these daily pages look both aesthetically and functionally. I like threw in a recipe that I made in here, purchases that I've made, journaling, just kind of a mix of everything, I don't know, that I wanted to do. And this has been working really, really well for me. And here is this week's. You can kind of see that the bones of my weekly spread are the same, but I'm just tailoring some of these smaller elements to make them work a little bit better for myself. I actually really like how this weekly has turned out functionally for me and just aesthetically a little bit, so I think I'll probably continue with this sort of layout. But yeah, I'm having like a really, really good time in here. I feel like I've been the most productive that I've ever been in my weekly sections, especially compared to what I was using in my Hobonichi cousin for like work. And October was not an easy month for me by any means. I had a lot of highs and lows this month, and usually when that happens, my tasks and my responsibilities kind of take the brunt of that. But for some reason, this has been working well enough where I've still been able to be on top of things, even though my personal life kind of feels a mess. And so very much and very quickly, this book has become a steady rock for me, which I haven't felt with a lot of the planners that I've experimented with. And it's been really comforting and safe feeling for me to just get everything that I need to function in life in here. And so this is this current week, and then here are just some of my little journaling pages from the last couple days. And then I have the rest of this week. So today is Friday, so I basically have today, Saturday, and Sunday for these grid pages. And then I will start my first November weekly in this next month section. So I do have them tabbed, so when I archive them, I know what months are in here. And then on these beginning pages, you'll see that Traveler's Notebook kind of has this like month at a glance list calendar set up. And so I've been using this as a monthly calendar. On October, this is when I started using my Traveler's Notebook. So I started marking off all the days that I've been in my TN, which has been very satisfying. And then I just have doctor's appointments, events, birthdays down here. So when I am setting up my weekly spreads, and here, this is what I'm referencing to see like what is happening that week. And on this October one, I have the week kind of labeled by this line. So this line right here is 7 days, this is 7 days, this is 7 days. So I can kind of see where I'm at in time from this view. This information on here I am pulling from my monthly booklet and the things that are in my monthly calendars. So this has been functioning really, really well for me, and I'm really, really loving the cream MD paper. It still feels thin enough, but it's not ghosting as much or bleeding through as much as the Tomoe River paper. And the cream color has just been like a very pleasant surprise. I did not think I would be a cream paper person, but I found myself preferring this over the like white paper. So that's been kind of an interesting development. So I have the rest of these 31 pages for November. This 31 grid pages gives me about like 4 weeks of weekly spreads, and then the rest of these for daily journaling, which kind of works out great for me because I don't do a page per day. And sometimes I have 2 days on one page, and sometimes I do have 1 day on one page. But since I'm not journaling every single day, the amount of paper kind of works out perfectly. So that is what I'm currently using for my weekly daily pages. Really, really happy with this, and I love that it's only 2 months in one insert, so I can get those micro wins from completing an insert every 2 months. I can put this away, archive it, never look at it again if I don't want to, and start fresh in a new book. And so that's been something that has been very appealing to my Aries brain. So that is this insert, and then the last one I have back here, kind of just tucked in this craft folder, is just this blank grid notebook. This is from Baum-Kuchen, and it's collab notebook with Tomoe River paper, so it's just a blank grid notebook. And I am planning on setting this up as an actual Commonplace book. In the past, like in my cousin, I kind of always just mixed my commonplacing in with my journaling, but I think moving forward, I would like to have a separate space for that stuff. One of my goals for 2025 is to just get off the internet a little bit more and engage in my special interests and my hobbies and educate myself about things. Now that I'm out of school, I can feel myself wanting to learn things. So I wanted to prioritize this booklet for that. So I'm gonna try and set up my own sort of indexing system within these next couple weeks. And then once my index is kind of figured out and how I wanna organize this, I will start actually using this, but I've just been prioritizing these pages and setups before I got into the meat of this. But that is the insert I currently have in the back, and that's all I have back here so far. So just 3 main books and then my sticker release paper. Other things that I've also been using is the Traveler's Notebook pencil board. I attached a Leuchtturm pen loop on mine for my fountain pen. And then I've just been keeping like some little sticky notes on here for stuff that I need to do. But this has been super handy when I have been setting up my weekly pages and I need those straight lines and such. And so I really liked having this on hand. And I also use the clip a lot because I purposely have my weekly daily insert in the middle, because this is the one that lays flat the easiest, the most, and it's the one that I have open on my desk the most and I am using most often. So usually I can just get away with having one clip on at any moment, and so these are really, really functional for me, and they are aesthetically pleasing. But that's kind of the bones and the guts of my system. Very, very happy where this has taken me. It's worked so well, in fact, that I even set up a Passport Traveler's Notebook as my wallet/finance tracking system. I've never tracked my finances. I definitely should now that I'm an adult, but I've never tracked or had a budgeting system. And because this was working so well, I decided to make a separate one for all my finances and money. And this has been the most consistent I've ever been with my money and budgeting. And so this is also working really, really well. And so if you guys are interested to see how I set this up and how I use this as a wallet kind of planner combo, let me know and I can do that in a different video. But yeah, I have been using this and it's been also working very well. So something about the inserts and just the system, and I think the portability and just customization of everything altogether has just been working really, really well for me. And so I don't want to say that this is what I'm using for 2025 or like make promises, but I would like to be in this for the foreseeable future. And then if it turns out 2 months down the line I hate this and it's not functioning for me, then I always have my cousin to fall back on, and that's completely okay. But for at least right now and for the beginnings of 2025, I would like to stick with this because I think it's been the best for me, both functionally and emotionally and creatively. So definitely was not on my bingo card to try a Traveler's Notebook this year. I'm really glad I decided to experiment with it and see kind of where it took me. And I'm really excited to see the different spreads and I don't know, pages that I come up with in the future. So it has been nothing if not a really fun, goofy time for me. So if you guys have any questions or anything, I'll make sure to link everything that I've used in here down below. But if you have any other questions, please let me know. But thank you guys so much for being here and taking the time to watch. I hope you guys are having a good start to your Q4. I hope you're not getting any quarter 4 scaries. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.